It's you and me, no place I'd rather be. Ding dong, hello, let's make this house a home.
Yay!
Welcome to Book Corner,
Welcome to freaking Book Corner.
where we're losing our minds.
I'm so excited. It's felt so good to reread this. It has felt so the reread is just as good as not just as good, but it's good. I'm happy.
I'm struggling through my reread solely
Oh,
because not in about because of my previous feelings, which I'm trying to put aside. I feel like sometimes I'm getting a little hypercritical as I'm reading this. Like, for instance, when he was like, a life for a life, except you can come live in the fairy world. That's the other option. I'm like, of course it is. But I'm sitting there being like, what? How else would the book progress? Like, stop doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel myself being mean because I'm like, I'm just like preparing.
Just rolling your eyes.
Yeah, I am. I'm sitting here being like, I can't believe I fell for this. Stop it. But I reading it again. Like, I am also reminded how much I loved it too. Like, I love how she writes. I love the writing. It's so good.
It's so well done.
Her descriptions are amazing. Like, oh my God. I love how I don't know, just realized the characters are fully realized, even from the beginning.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I guess we should say we read chapters 1 to through chapter 7 is what we're covering.
Yes.
Yeah. One thing that I felt the first time I read it, and I feel again now, is something that feels very just incorrect to me, and maybe it's just because of my own experiences, but how she writes Elaine and Nesta as being like the older sisters that act that way. I'm like, that's just not, it doesn't seem like older sister behavior, at least as an older sister. I'm like, that is not realistic to me. I'm like, why would they act that way? It's interesting.
You know what, because okay, so Nesta, I am annoyed that she's mean, but I get it.
Yeah.
I kind of understand her more than I understand the Elaine role. I was like, middle children do not act this way. As this, it's hard for me because I have this weird there's 4 of us, but I'm the oldest sister, and then the younger 2. I'm like, there's just a certain way, and I just it's
not adding up. Yeah, I'm
not right here.
Yeah, Nesta, yeah, fine, be mean, that's fine, but it's the fact that she it's the fact that they're living in this cottage and no one is doing anything except for Farah, and I'm like, how?
I know. How? Well, and the fact that Nesta does take care of Elaine, I'm like, that makes sense. The older sister, as the older sister, you feel responsible, even if you don't want to be, you just kind of are. And I get that Farah's this independent, I do my own thing, but I feel some of that care would have still carried down. So I'm like, I just don't get the animosity.
Yeah, or just the reluctance to do anything to help your situation, or when Farah asks Nesta to chop wood and she's like, I don't want to, and I'm like, then the house is gonna be cold. I don't
freeze.
Yeah. I was like, what?
The boots thing bothered me too. She's like, I need a new pair of winter boots. I'm like, you're not going outside, girl. Get out of here. Get out.
So
dumb. Elaine almost acts like what the youngest would normally act like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's how I picture it. Yeah.
I almost forgot she was the middle for a while. I keep thinking Farah's the middle, but it's just not true. It's not true.
Yeah.
I also had to go back to I was laughing so hard I forgot. It's on page. Oh, I flipped right to it. Page 13, when the author literally tells you how to pronounce Farah's name. I was reading the book like this, with my finger in that page, and every time I forgot, I would be like, hold on. I was like, thank God.
I think that's what I'm like nervous about, like talking about this too and like posting it, because there's like specific, like I guess I should, the SJM like released like a pronunciation list of everything, but I'm like, but I have the names in my head that sound right, and if it doesn't match up, it's gonna stress me out. But oh well, that's like Oh, go ahead.
You go right ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say like Lucian is pronounced Lucian, but I like to say Lucian because it just sounds fancier to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fair. I get it. I think I honestly only had an issue with Pharaoh's name just because. Let me just look at it real quick. I'm trying to remember now. I'm trying to remember how I was pronouncing it wrong. I always wanted to go fairy, like fairy.
Yeah.
But also Feyre makes more sense because it's like the Feyre, you know? And so now every time she says the fairy realm, I'm reading it as the fairy like realm. And I'm like, is that right? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like making me question everything. Cause I actually get so annoyed. I saw this TikTok recently. Now that we're reading it, I'm getting all this ACOTAR stuff suggested.
And you got to be careful because they'll start catching up. They'll start going ahead and you're like, no, wait.
I'm like going to my phone, like, don't show me ACOTAR stuff. I don't want to see it. FBI agent in there. Hey, you hear me? But I saw this TikTok where it was like these two girls and one of them was like yelling at the other because she's like, you've been pronouncing their names wrong. And the girl's like, well, so the one who's doing it right, she's like, how do you pronounce the evil fairy queen in the first one? And she's like, Amanthra. She's like, no, like, and they're going through each one. And I'm like, this irks me so much because it's like the internet exists. Like, you can Google it. Like, like SJM has a YouTube channel and like releases videos on each book of how to pronounce every character's name. Like, you could just fucking Google. Like, what's wrong with people? Like, you're just gonna sit here and be like, I don't know.
I intend to, but then once I've like read it before hearing what it's supposed to sound like, then I go, it's so hard for me to change my ways.
No, I'm a freak. I'm a freak about it. As soon as someone's name pops up, I'm like, hold the phone before I even read the name. Let me get on YouTube right now and just like hear someone saying it. I get so messed up about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stickler like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel like that's a better way to be.
There's, you know what, when I don't necessarily care if it's like a better way or not. I'm just like so uptight like that. It's like,
I respect it.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't mean about it. Okay, you know who else bothers me in this book though is her dad.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get more backstory? Because I'm like, I understand he like lost a lot of money gambling, right? Like he like gambled their fortune away. But it's like, how could somebody become this fucking despondent for his own fucking children? And he didn't even show any real care until suddenly like the one source of income is being taken away. I'm like, this is. Yeah. And I get, like, she mentions, like, the sisters treat him kind of poorly because they're mad at him or whatever. But I'm like, but you're still responsible for these humans. Like, you created them. Like, what's going on? Like, I mean, obviously, terrible parents exist, too. But I'm just, like, so confused by this, like, way of being that he is. Like, he's just, like...
Yeah. Just sits there. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I would like context, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd be good.
Tamlin's fucking beast form, too.
I can never picture it in my head.
I was just gonna say.
And I tried so hard to, like, read the words. I was like, okay, horns. Yeah. Teeth.
Fangs. Claws.
Lion/wolf.
Antlers.
Big as a horse.
Big as a pony?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is the difference? I don't know, because I'm not really a horse fan, so that's an area of knowledge I don't delve into, but she's like almost as large as a pony. I'm like, a horse? Yeah. Oh my god. It's funny too. Did you ever play Spiritfarer?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't finish it, but yes.
Okay, however, this is who I was picturing Tamlin to look like in my brain. And Astrid from Spiritfarer. This is who I was thinking of. I was like, is it like this?
Yes.
but like
yeah.
with antlers.
Yeah, basically.
Like that's what I was picturing in my brain the whole time. I was like, okay, it's the giant kitty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was like a few things he did while he was in beast form where I was like, how does this look? Like, it's just very weird.
Yeah, when he sits in the chair as a beast, I was like,
Yeah, he like gestured to her to get on the horse. He's just like,
even when he's in his like fae form too, or like human like form, they talk about sometimes like the claws protruding out of his skin. I'm like Wolverine,
yeah.
or
Yeah,
like
that's what
is it like his fingers are now the claws? Like some things I do have a hard time seeing in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested. It's like interesting reading this a second time, not remembering a lot of things. Like when she was talking about like fairies can't lie, I was like, is that true? Did we find that to be true throughout the book? Like,
I totally forgot about that too, and I read it and I went, oh my god, I forgot that was.
I know. I was like, are we gonna find out this is actually a rule we can rely on throughout the book? Because that's gonna be really cool, you know? Or are we gonna find out that this is not like this is like a myth passed down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to learn that. I also didn't realize the blight was brought up so soon too.
Yeah. Yeah, they talk about it right away.
And like, okay, seriously, as someone who does not fucking remember the rest of this book, to be honest with you, I'm wondering, as you're rereading it, does that seem like sudden to you? Like how soon? I mean, like this whole like relationship they have now is so strange. So like she kills their friend. He's like, I'll offer you sanctuary, I guess. Which is like already strange to me. Now she's like free to do whatever she wants. But like he's like that whole thing where he was like trying to compliment her. I'm like, what's happening? And then let me be like, also let me spill my guts about this crazy thing happening in the fairy realm right now. I was like, the fuck is going on? Like reading it back to me, I'm like, this seems so soon. But like, I don't know. How did you think about it reading it around the second time?
It makes sense to me. I think there's things I remember that happened where I go, oh, so like I was excited to reread it because I remember there was points later on where I was like, where they like refer back, I guess, to this like beginning bit, and I'm like, oh, so I was excited to reread it and be like, so it does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it plays out.
This is so funny. Like, it feels like I'm reading it for the first time because to me, I'm like, they're enemies. I would not reveal this shit to my enemy. I'd be like, die, humans. Like,
yes. Also, reading like just like how Tamlin is, I'm like, wow, oh my god. I'm like,
this makes me so excited too because like this was the only one I read. I haven't read any of the other ones, so I'm like, where the fuck is this gonna go from here? Like,
oh, it goes. It goes.
I'm scared.
One thing that reading this when she like kills the wolf, that like thinking about the fact that she skinned that wolf and it was a fae person, I'm like, oh, you like that's full like that's past murder. That's like full like desecrating a body.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
She
I was
skinned
like,
it.
it feels cannibalistic in a way. Like you're just like, ugh. Like obviously I get it from a hunting standpoint. And you're like, I don't know if this is a fairy. I'm gonna take everything I need. But then it's like, wow, you really just like skinned a person.
Yeah. Fully skinned a person.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Which means that like the wolf's body, like someone found his body like skinned and went out.
Because she didn't take any. No, she didn't take any for the wolf.
She killed the deer and then she skinned the wolf and then wrapped the deer in the wolf pelt to bring it back.
God, it's like, no, this is just. I was gonna make like a comparison, but I'm like, no, we don't need to do that. it's just bad. It's bad on its own. It sucks.
Just not good. When she goes to the market, there was this moment where she's talking to the mercenary person.
Yeah.
And she's noticing a scar. Oh, I just found it. It's on page 29.
Okay.
And it says, like, the woman pulled back the sleeve of her heavy jacket, revealing a tanned, muscled forearm flecked with gruesome, twisted scars. And then it says the arc of them similar to, and then it cuts off. And I'm like, what was the arc similar to?
Ooh.
So I'm like, that's obviously pointing towards something, but I don't understand what it's pointing towards. A mouth? A person? A human mouth? A wolf?
Well, and she says earlier. Oh no, that's just a comparison. Let me see. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like, very much like, where does that lead?
Right?
I'm like, what is that similar to?
I'm like scanning the pages to see if she referenced like another animal or something, maybe, but no.
Yeah.
That's creepy. Or is she thinking of the wolf?
That's what I was wondering, if it's like similar to a wolf's bite, but
Right?
oh, like the arc, because didn't the wolf bit into the deer's neck? I think.
Yeah. Didn't it? I'm pretty sure it
Is
did.
that? Yeah.
Well, and also Feyre describes watching the paws of the wolf while it's dying, like scratching at the snow. Like, where is that at?
Yeah.
I remember that imagery made me sad because I was just thinking of like a dog, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, and he was just looking at her too.
Yeah. Let me see. Where is that? Yeah, it's on page 7.
Happens so fast.
Yeah, oh God, there was a lot happening those first 10 pages. She says his legs were twitching as a low whine sliced through the wind. And I was just like, oh my. He pawed at the ground. That's the other part of it. Like, she just like talks about the paws and the legs a lot, so I wonder if maybe that's what she was thinking of in that moment.
Yeah.
Probably the guilt too, because she was like, this might have been a fairy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But she did it.
Yeah. Also this cult that they mentioned, I forgot all about this fucking cult. Oh no, where were we just?
It's like the blessed children of the
Children
blessed.
of the Blessed or something.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out more about that shit, because I mean, obviously we're only getting this from Pharaoh's perspective, who doesn't really seem to know a lot of the history or the treaty or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that most humans are of the opinion that like the fairies fucking suck. So I'm interested to learn more about like how this cult thing formed. Like, how did that all get turned around?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I'm interested, like, because they have like different rules from, like, there's the different rules of like or like beliefs of like the Fae can't tell a lie, or like some people believe that iron will like protect you from the Fae or like from their magic or something. And then they also, on their cottage, they've got different like runes written on the doorway, which like obviously the wolf or Tamlin busted through that. And then the iron on the bracelets, I don't know if that did anything, but I like seeing how it's cool to establish like these myths, and that some might be true and some might be false, and like you just don't know until you're in that world and find out, which is cool.
Yeah, because she like hates them just because it's like a passed down intolerance, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, we don't fucking know.
Yeah, like she was so shocked when she like came to his like grounds and was like, oh, it's a castle. Like he's like, oh, they're like civilized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God. I'm interested too, these like holes in the wall that was built also. Like, why are they there? Like, wasn't the whole point to separate people? And like, I don't know. I would like to know more about that whole shebang too. It's crazy to me too, like how little space they fucking gave the humans. It's so funny to me. I'm like, oh my God.
It's so tiny.
It's so tiny. So he lives in the spring court, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she talks about it being spring there.
Mm-hmm.
So she was saying there's like 7 lords in one spot, or that rule these different courts?
They rule the different courts.
Okay, so but she just calls him a high fae. But is the high fae only the 7 lords? Or high fae is
No.
anyone who's like one of these human-like faes who can also change into other things.
I think there's like certain fae that have like stronger magical powers, and they're considered high fae, and then like everyone else is considered like a lesser fae as like a derogatory term.
C. Okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this whole exchange with her and Lucian, like, who the fuck is he? Like, I forgot all about him. Like, he's just pulling in.
I love him. He's so just like here to charm.
Unhinged.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I found it interesting that when he first walks into that like dining room, he doesn't notice that she's there.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, how'd you not notice that?
She also mentions like a metallic smell.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's like whenever magic is used, she like tastes it.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just her, if that's everybody. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you probably know. I don't know if I'm probably gonna find out, I guess.
I don't know.
I am enjoying it so far though. I really like how she writes. Like the imagery is really good, and like, I mean, aside from me being like, what the fuck does this fake creature look like? I have no idea. But and I like the pacing of it too. Like, as abrupt as like that reveal about the blight felt to me, it's also like, I mean, I guess it's not like he can lie anyway. It's not like there's any reason to hide it either, since she's like banished there forever. But like, yeah, I actually think like I really love how it's written.
Yeah, it's been like I'm struggling to like get used to the first person, because like in all the other books that she's written, they've all been in third person, but like really well written, where you think you're reading like from that person's perspective. So like hearing like, I thought this and I'm doing this, I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Wait,
like,
so yeah. As in her other books, as in other series, or like the rest of these books are written in third person too?
Other series, and maybe some other ones. That is all I will say.
Wait, so you're saying when this one's done, the second one we read might not be in first person like this one is?
The second one will be.
What the fuck is happening? Oh my god.
Listen, you got to be kept on your toes.
Apparently. Oh my god. Just makes me want to read it faster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Yeah. I also like that she set up a trap in her room that like fell on, I think it's pronounced Alice.
Yeah.
I always read it as Alice, but I guess Alice is fine.
Yeah, the spelling, I wonder how she came up with the spelling of the names.
Yeah.
Yeah, that trap was so funny. Alice was like, you really think this is gonna do fucking shit? Like, dummy.
Yeah. And then Taylor was like, was that trap for me? She went, yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I thought I was really gonna actually struggle to get back into this again because of my very strong feelings, but it's actually nice to reread it again and be like, maybe this will give me a different perspective. Because we were having a voice note about this, okay? About well, Sarah left me a very confusing one, but
I was talking about something and thought I was sharing something that was helpful to get through the book, and then I realized that it contains a spoiler, so I couldn't say anything, and I sent the message anyway.
Yeah, it was like so abrupt. It was just like, because we were talking about this and never mind, I can't tell you. It's like, okay, great. But like, so like rereading this first bit and how her family was and is, then I was like, you know what? Thinking on this riddle shit that's gonna come later and how she did not know the answer, maybe it does make more sense because she doesn't really have deep feelings of love like that for anyone, you know? Like, she's taking care of her family, excuse me, out of an obligation, a promise, to her mom,
Yeah.
who she also didn't seem to like, apparently.
Yes, seems like her mom wasn't great either.
I know. And then Isaac Hale, this just seems like a casual, like, I need comfort sometimes kind of deal, you know?
Mhm.
So, like, I know her and Tamlin get somewhere together somehow. I don't remember the whole thing, but I know, they fall in love in some way. But like, that's probably the first time she's felt these type of feelings that deeply. So it's like, if you don't experience something often, you're not going to just like know everything about it from the first get-go. So that's actually kind of helped me read this the first time around, being like, you know what? She's going through a lot. She's only 19.
Yeah, that's true.
She's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Sad.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep reading. Where did we left off?
Right at chapter 8, girl. Right
Yeah, she's gonna go take a walk in the gardens, I think.
Yeah.
And Tamlin wanted to join, and she was like, no.
Just like, get out of here. What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm surprised and not surprised she wouldn't have just like left. Like, he was like, says to her, like, you just live wherever the fuck you want. Like, I don't care. I'm not, you don't have to stay here if you don't want to. And like, I know she wants to try to run back anyway, but like, I'm interested to see, and I'm sure we're about to get a few answers here of like why she's staying there for now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just interested.
Yeah, I think currently it's like that, like fear of like what she's been told of like, it's like deadly, like that's a deadly area. So like she was like taken aback that there was like even like a castle, and so it's like she doesn't know what's out there yet because he knocked her out on when they were traveling. There.
Yeah, well, and I guess the fear of living in Prythian in general anyway, because of everything the mercenary told her about the other fairies, and then on top of that, Alice being like, not everyone's gonna be fucking happy you're here, like, just keep your head down.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Very true. Oh, I had a thought. I forgot what it was.
No.
Oh, when he's like telling her to eat dinner. When he's telling her to eat dinner.
Eat your dinner.
And he like serves her food, and he's like, it's an honor for a human to be served food from a fae or from a high lord.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that like stuck with me the first time I read it, and it like stuck with me again. I went, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I had to reread that a few times. I don't know why. I think because for some reason in my brain, I read it as like, it's an honor for a high fae to serve a human. Like, I flipped it for some reason in my brain.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
what? Where is that?
I think it's somewhere on 63, I think.
Okay. Oh, here, it's a 60.
60.
It's
wow, we talked about this for so long.
It's an honor for a human to be served by a high fae.
Yes.
High fae, specifically.
Yeah. But it's, I'm like, why?
Right? Maybe it's left over from before the treaty and before all the fucking drama that must have happened all those years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
I wonder why she didn't want to tell them she liked to paint. Yeah.
I also, have you ever heard, as I was reading the series the first time, I'd come across a TikTok, and like I was like having the thoughts too of like the way she describes colors and painting is like so like intense in a way that sometimes I find it funny to picture that she's actually not a good artist, but like just really loves it. And so like so she'll be like, these beautiful flowers I painted on the doorway, and it's like they actually look terrible. But in her mind they're like the best.
Right? I know, I'm trying to remember if she like paints again here, and like maybe they'll talk about that if she actually is good. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, I love how she just gets so easily attracted. Like when she first rolls up, she's like, look at these hydrangeas. Oh, wait, I'm also starving, by the way, and I need to get out of here. I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, get it together.
Yeah. So funny.
All right. Well, anything else you want to talk about from these first few chapters?
I don't think so.
Cool.
I feel good. Yeah. I'm excited to keep reading more. Feels good.
I can't wait to finish this for us to start the second one because I really haven't. That will be my first time reading it, and then I can just throw theories at you and be wrong or totally incorrect.
Yeah. And the second one is like the second one's my favorite book as well, so I'm excited to read that one again.
Ooh, okay. I'm very.
The other ones are really great too, but the second one just like that's good.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay. Yeah. I watch anime with one of our friends like online, and she will always read the manga first, and then we'll watch the anime. So she already knows what happens regardless. I'll just be like, oh my god, does this mean XYZ? And she'll be like, I don't know. And then like something will happen. She'll be like, you're right. Or she'll be like, so you're kind of right. And I'm like, I was dead wrong. Like, what are you doing? I can't wait to have those conversations. This is just such a weird scenario because we both read this book. But
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah.
Insane.
I cannot wait. What's the maybe we should share what our next section is if anyone wants to read alongside.
Yeah.
We'll be doing chapters 8 through 15 in the second one.
Ooh, I can't wait.
So excited. I love it. Also like just like pops off so fast. Like I do like this writing of like she starts right in the action of something and like things are already happening. There's no like, and this is the city I live in and these are these people and this is what I look like, and like it's like she does a good job of incorporating that into the active story.
Yeah, agree. I appreciate world building, but I think it can be just like you get bogged down so quickly. Excuse me. My sister and I actually talk about this a lot with like so Amphibia. Have you ever watched that?
No.
Oh my god, you should. It was hard to watch at first though because the entire first season is just like, okay, these are these characters, this is who lives here, this is how the town works, like little episodes where you're just like, this is becoming too slice of life for me, like I'm bored, whatever. But by the time you finish the series, you're like, oh my god, this all came back in a way. So it's like,
Nice.
I can appreciate it, but when it takes too long, it's just like, oh god, like I'm losing my fucking mind. So yeah, I liked how it's immediately like, I'm in the forest fucking hunting, and you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Let me join you here.
I skinned a fade, page 7.
Yeah, for real. Like it all happened in the first 10 pages. It's like, oh god. Here we go.
Yeah, very excited.
Me too. It's going great. All right.
Sick.
See ya. I gotta go read these chapters.
Amazing.